pela apresentação, pela introdução. Eu gostava de continuar falando de uma questão que apareceu na resposta, que tem a ver, né, com a mudança que a pandemia trouxe ao tipo de estratégias, ao tipo de parcerias de solidariedades que vocês vêm desenvolvendo. Gostava de perguntar-te também que tipo de estratégias têm os guaranis na sua resistência e como é que estas estratégias mudaram durante tempos de pandemia.
Tá. Acho que a pandemia ela foi desafiador para todos, né? Para todo mundo, assim, em diferentes contextos, né? Tanto não indígena, indígena, pobre, rico, né? Teve um impacto geral. E, e nós, enquanto indígena, fomos, assim, foi povo que foi impactado diretamente muito rápido por conta da coletividade, por conta da dinâmica, né? Que ela ainda a gente vive, né? Um mundo de muito acolhimento, né? Entre nós. Então, onde a gente fomos impactados diretamente, muito rápido. Os primeiros contatos que
Very
tivemos
quickly.
aqui no município de São Paulo,
Just the first.
dentro das comunidades, a gente já tinha, né, pessoas também já com essa Covid, né? Então, para a gente foi muito difícil lidar com isso, né? E uma das situações, coisa humana que foi muito forte, é o desespero, né, das pessoas, das lideranças, das famílias, dos mais velhos, né? E toda uma orientação que foi pensada e que foi trazido também para a gente, né, que é a questão das orientações, né, sobre a Covid. Então, para a gente foi muito desafio, assim, muito forte, porque tínhamos que se fortalecer enquanto povo, espiritualmente, fisicamente, mas como você poderia fazer isso sem o contato físico, sem estar junto, né, com os mais velhos, com as famílias, com as pessoas queridas. Então, foi um desafio muito grande para a gente, sim. E ela modificou bastante no primeiro momento, porque ninguém sabia onde se esconder, para onde a gente ia correr e o que a gente iria seguir, né? Então foi muito preocupante. Depois a gente foi começando a pensar, tentar entender, né, como que a gente poderia sobreviver a um caos, né, imposto assim pelo mundo e que não era só a gente, né? Como que a gente ia fazer os cuidados. E a gente foi entendendo melhor, né, essa doença e fomos se fortalecendo e chegamos assim, vamos fazer uma medida coletiva, né? Não individual, como o não indígena faz, né? Que o não indígena é só se trancar, porque já vive em quartinhos, já vive em caixinhas, né, separados, né, então é só falar, né, não vamos mais sair, tá tudo resolvido. Agora, para os povos indígenas, para as comunidades tradicionais, é diferente. A gente lida com o ser, tanto com o ser humano, com outros seres, com outros vivos, né, de forma diferente. E a gente foi fazendo essa ação coletiva e chegamos nesse fortalecimento espiritual e físico também, né? Então, onde a gente falou, não vamos ficar em casa trancado individualmente, mas vamos fazer uma força coletiva e continuamos frequentando as nossas casas de reza, né? E continuando fazendo o plantio coletivo, né? Então, isso que fortaleceu as comunidades indígenas e fortalecendo a questão da medicina tradicional também. O que a gente não estava tomando, vamos tomar. A gente tomava com chimarrão, fazendo cipó, fazendo raízes, né, fervendo para tomar, né? Então isso segurou e conteu bastante, né, nossas comunidades aqui onde eu moro. E com isso a gente teve uma dificuldade muito grande, porque como que a gente conseguiria ter a sustentabilidade que também necessitava, né, também de entradas de não indígena dentro dos territórios. E aí tem a questão da escola também, né, que é uma influência também de alimentos, né, para a sobrevivência também, né? Então foi uma coisa assim meio tudo complicada assim, e onde a organização da Comissão Guarani Yvyrupa pensamos em fazer campanhas, né? Campanhas de arrecadação de dinheiro mesmo para compra de alimentos, né? Então tivemos um resultado bem positivo, importante pela nossa organização, né? Conseguimos arrecadar até um valor significativo aqui no Brasil e fomos comprando, né, de acordo com as necessidades regionais, né, locais de cada realidade, né? Sempre priorizando as regiões mais críticas, né? E avaliando junto com outros coordenadores, né? E também fizemos outras parcerias também, né, enquanto organização, né, tivemos com a PIB, né, também, que é a Articulação dos Povos Indígenas do Brasil, e entre outros também, né, ONGs também que queriam ajudar, a gente sempre oferecia a comissão, né, para representar o povo Guarani Yvyrupa. E foi uma das situações que a gente teve, e também tivemos o apoio internacional também, né, a gente abrimos uma campanha também na Europa, onde também conseguimos arrecadar um valor importante também para esse momento. E os financiadores já, né, de longa data, né, que sempre apoiam o movimento, né, que faz a gente continuar nessa luta também, né? Conseguimos também, através disso, ir fortalecendo, né? E a gente modificou o nosso projeto, né? Por exemplo, o nosso projeto estava previsto vários encontros, várias regiões, várias reuniões, né, em localidades diferentes. A gente foi convertendo também de acordo com a necessidade da realidade atual, né? Então a gente está apoiando mais no sentido de apoio espiritual, né, que é fazer a casa de reza, levar o material e também fortalecimento do plantio, né, da soberania alimentar, né? Então a gente também está apoiando muito com compra de ferramentas, insumo, mudas, né? Então a gente está incentivando mais dessa proteção mesmo, né? Do resguardo assim do povo assim dentro do seu território. E aí e estamos sempre abertos, né? Estamos sempre procurando outras parcerias também, principalmente na Europa, né? Onde tem bastante pessoas militantes também, né? Que podem estar apoiando, né? Também a comissão, mas não só a comissão, mas como os povos indígenas no contexto geral, né? E eu acho que é mais ou menos isso que eu tenho, assim, para partilhar um pouco do que a gente sofreu e como que a gente está, né? Mas o povo Guarani ela se encontra tranquilo nesse momento, né? Mesmo diante desse caos, assim, a gente está meio tudo tranquilo pelo território.
Muito obrigado, Tiago. Eu gostava também de perguntar como é que estas mudanças têm afetado os diferentes membros da comunidade. Pessoas mais novas, pessoas mais velhas, homens, mulheres. A nível, mais ou menos, quando a gente fala assim, dessas diferenças, as pessoas, por exemplo, que estiveram na primeira linha, como é que estas mudanças acabaram por afetar a diferentes membros da comunidade?
Tá. No primeiro momento, né, que foi há um ano atrás, assim, mais ou menos, a gente teve uma, uma preocupação muito grande com os mais velhos mesmo, né? Porque, enfim, tudo indicava, né, que os mais velhos eram mais frágeis, né? Então, essa preocupação, esse cuidado foi muito forte, assim, com eles. E a gente viu, né, sofrimento mesmo, né, que estava causando, né? E como que a gente faria, assim, né? para que a gente continuasse a fortalecer o outro, né? Então, tinha os nossos tiramões e tiajari, que são os pajé, né? Os líderes espirituais, que tratam e cuidam também de pessoas que também estavam nesse quadro, né? Então, a, era muito complexo para a gente, né? Tipo, lidar com essas situações. Mas no primeiro momento a gente teve essa questão dos mais velhos e tivemos perdas, né? Também. Perdemos 3 membros, né? Aqui da comunidade. Perdemos 2 mais velhos e uma criança que morreu pela Covid, né? Ela foi vítima também desse vírus. E os jovens, assim, foram afetados, né? A gente foi afetados, né? Porque aqui foi praticamente a comunidade inteira pegaram, né? Esse vírus. E muitos jovens tinham sintomas, outros
Quickly.
não, né? Então, muitos
Some
acabaram
younger people had
desenvolvendo
symptoms,
outros
had
também que não tinham
some
sintomas, né? Então,
younger people didn't have
lembro-se,
symptoms.
assim, de momentos que a gente encontrou, assim,
And
dificuldade de entendimento mesmo, assim.
so we were trying to
É,
understand how this
mas
disease affected everybody,
fortalecia muito essa questão, né, do
but always
outro, né? Então,
trying to be strong as a
por mais
community.
que estava tendo essas etapas, né, que foi, a gente fala de surto, né, na aldeia também teve
Even if there were
mudanças
these
na
big
metade, assim, e agora,
moments of
nesse
more
começo de
of
março, por
faster
exemplo, a gente
spreading of the
teve
disease, there were some moments
aqui
of
no
more
Brasil,
cases in
4
Brazil,
mil e pouco por
like
dia, então no
4,000
começo
people per day.
ficava
So
bem
also
difícil,
we
né?
were watching how the
Mas
situation was
era para os mais
evolving.
velhos, depois
And
chegou
our
as
concern
criancinhas
was
para
always with the older
as crianças
people in our
pequenas, né?
communities,
Depois foram
because we saw
chegou
that
a
they were
vacina,
first
a gente tomou
in the
vacina,
beginning of the pandemics, they were
desorientação
vulnerable,
e de
but then
surto para
also the
outros, a gente fez
children
isso,
were
vacina.
later.
Nossa, cuidado
And
maior
then
com essas pessoas
because
que não
with the
foram
children, we were
vacinadas.
concerned because now we were
De março, né,
vaccinated,
para cá, né?
but only
Foi uma
from 18
situação
years of age up. The
bagunçada,
children
né?
are not
Não sabe para onde
they were
que
not
tá as coisas, né?
vaccinated.
Mas enfim, estamos firme e forte. Assim, acho que
But in general, we're doing
é o que nos
well.
move a questão da
We were
espiritualidade,
vaccinated.
da nossa
We
crença
are
também de estar forte no nosso
working
território. A gente
for
lidar com isso.
sustainability. We're doing our spiritual practices and becoming strong physically
Por
and
exemplo,
spiritually.
qué tipo de parcerias con otros grupos indígenas, con otros povos indígenas tienen articulado tanto ahora como, digamos, anteriormente? ¿Cómo te han funcionado esas parcerías? ¿Qué tipo de contactos te han establecido y cuál te ha sido el resultado? Eh,
Hum. O contato assim com outros povos sempre existiu, né? Sempre
We
tem, né?
always had contact with other indigenous groups,
A gente
other
luta
indigenous peoples,
pelos nossos direitos, né?
because we
Sempre
fight
com alguns
together
parceiros,
for our rights, and
que
we
foi
always
uma
have
parceria
partnerships.
que foi uma parceria que a gente teve mesmo, que conseguimos, né, de
One
fato,
partnership that we have built,
não só de apoio, mas também financeiro, foi
not
uma
not
parceria,
only
né,
not
de
only
articulação dos
working
povos aqui do
together, but
Brasil,
also financially was with APIB, the
várias
Brazilian
organizações,
Articulation
de
of
outras
Indigenous
regiões, né,
Peoples,
então aqui a
where
gente teve
many
esse
indigenous
apoio
peoples in Brazil
dessa
participate.
organização maior.
They are articulated in this
E com outros
APIB.
povos também, tivemos também alguns apoios
We
indiretamente, né,
also had
mas
some
muitas ações,
support from different groups
muita
between
coisa
each other,
de parceria pela questão pela luta coletiva mesmo, né,
but most of it is always collective, right? Like
ajudando a
through
escrever,
APIB
fazendo
and
documentos,
working together to send
recebendo,
documents,
correndo atrás, né, dos direitos, né, na época
to see
da pandemia, né,
how to fight for our
pela
rights
primeira
together
vez,
during the pandemic.
tivemos uma interação, né, com outros povos também, com outras
So we were always in
organizações,
contact
assim,
constantly with other
e acho que
ethnic
uma
groups, with
outra
other
coisa
indigenous people.
importante, mais valorosa para a gente,
And also something that is very important as a Guarani
força da
person
própria organização Guarani,
is the
que a
strength of
organização
our own organization, Guarani organization, that we Guarani recognize the strength and the importance of our organization, and allowing this organization to become even stronger. So with all the different states that we work with, 6 different states that we work with, we have many coordinators in different states. They're all expecting that we take care of each one, and all the coordinators interacting with us, and we take care of their needs. So we have this work together that has been growing stronger. We have the pressure from the base, from all the people working in the communities, demanding, expecting us to work, but it was very healthy and got us all stronger. And we also talk with other organizations, NGOs from Brazil and other places. So this dialogue will continue. But the strength of indigenous people with all this contact working together has actually grown. We've become stronger, always holding hands together and going forward together.
Eventos online y redes sociais, ese nivel así máis de digital, digamos, ten contribuído a fortalecer ou establecer ligações como das comunidades.
Acho que nesse momento da pandemia esse é o
At this moment of the pandemic, that's the channel, very efficient, because we cannot travel, we cannot go any place to other places of the world. You cannot come and visit. So that is for us very important. We tease about it, that even when the pandemic is over, we prefer to work online. We don't need to go to other places, to university, because we can work online. It's very good. So we participated in many meetings, events, solidarity events with people that support us, even financially. So we had many positive meetings, very positive indeed. So it is very important, all this dialogue, the ones that are more with the institutions, more official, the ones that give more, that help us to be stronger as an organization are very important, but also that the other side can understand how we work, can see how we are, and they can offer their hand to help us to see which ways are more effective for everybody. Because, okay, we're going to have an event, but yeah, let's think of strategies that will, in fact, help the communities, indigenous communities, to go forward better. So it's been very, very important for us. Yesterday, I was in another meeting. They were asking, what can we do? It's something to be built. I always say it's something that we need to build together, not something that needs to come, but we need to build together as partners. That's very important.
Quais são as ferramentas, por exemplo, que pessoas que estejam perto ou que estejam longe dispõem para poder ajudar e contribuir na luta? Que tipo de parcerias e que tipo de solidariedades existem, digamos, para apoiar a vossa causa nacional ou internacionalmente?
Well, me as a coordinator of the commission, Guarani Commission, I always to see what is specifically what the person can help with, because different organizations can help differently. Some people can help with food, other people can help with clothing, other people can help with funds. So it depends on how each organization works. But I always tell them to think of a strategy together on how to help the Guarani people and we as an organization in the commission, we know each region, the people, the communities in each region, the needs they have, so we can channel to them and we can communicate to our partners the needs that they have. So I always think like in this way, that by supporting our commission, the Guarani Commission, we support directly all the different regions because we support the Guarani people as a whole, all the different Guarani groups. And then we have some partners that work more locally. And so we have those kind of partners, but so we have some regions work directly with local partners, but I work more with the organization, and we encourage always to do the campaigns through the commission to strengthen the commission as a community, because we always discuss all the campaigns together, from like the coordinators and down to the people at the base of the communities. So we discuss all the needs that we have, all the possibilities to cover them. And then also, like, we have our funds to support the organization to keep on working. We have England that is supporting our Guarani Commission with funds. So we need our funds to work as an organization, and we have those partnerships, and those partnerships are getting stronger, and we're very happy to have this new partnership with England that we have found, and we have other partners. So the Guarani Commission is growing, and we have these partnerships of a longer date. And we like this, we get all the bonds and partnerships growing.
Para tornar visível tamén, para conseguir a situación da luta ao nível da comunidade. Eu acho que esse apoio, esses apoios, né, que vem e que fortalecem, né, a Comissão Guarani.
This support that we have and that strengthen our Guarani Commission, Comissão Guarani Yvyrupa, it strengthens our commission to maintain it with as a legal organization, and the legal strength, the judicial aspect, to have the lawyers to give us legal advice so we can go into lawsuits in the government. So these organizations strengthen all this part of the internal working of the organization. And the greatest difficulty in Brazil today that we have is that many indigenous communities are not recognized by the government. They're not well seen either by the society. For many, they're considered like a nuisance in the road to progress in the country. So we have this hardship to be recognized. How can a country that doesn't recognize indigenous people will support a movement to work for our movements, for our right to land, our political rights as any citizen in Brazil? There's a lot of discrimination in the society in this country. So when we leave our communities or when we go outside Brazil, it seems that Brazil should have this right very strong, that should be guaranteed to these indigenous communities. But it's not true. It's not like this. It's very complicated when we think about funds, how we don't, if we don't have any support, any help from the government, from the state, it's hard to act. But we have many people that work here, part of our communities, partners, people from other organizations in society that are also engaged working for the rights of everybody, the rights of the environment. And we keep on just finding allies and working together with all these other people from outside the communities to protect the environment and the rights of everybody. So we have those issues, right? The politics, that they should recognize our rights to education and land and culture, spirituality. And then there's the other side of this political strength, that we need representation. So then you have the public, the right, that the part that the public law is defined and the government has to act, but it's not that they're giving, it's what they have to do, even if they want to or not. And many times they say, oh, the indigenous people have everything, and we're not recognizing everything that the indigenous people have. But they have the law. But we don't have political representation, and the laws are not being respected. So they give one image, and we have another reality on the other side.
So this situation, Thiago, does it change from state to state, from region to region? Is it a general thing, or does it change from place to place when we compare from one state to another?
It changes from state to state. Like now, the Commission Guarani Yvyrupa, we work from Espírito Santo to Rio Grande do Sul, and also that includes Rio de Janeiro, Santa Catarina, São Paulo, Paraná. And each state and each region is different. We have in São Paulo, where I am, we have certain hardships, but we are quite in a good situation. We have some invasions, but we have like lots of people that support us, and we can always dialogue. We can have dialogue with the different people. But in other regions like Paraná, in the western part of the state, in Terra Roxa and Guaíra, that there's a real persecution of people. Many situations that are very hard. And also in the south, like Santa Catarina, Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul, is also complicated because there are big farms. And they're living near the big farms, big companies. So there's a direct conflict. And in the western part of Paraná, it's very sad, very worrisome. It's more similar to the people in Mato Grosso with the Guarani and Kiowa. They're even at the border of the state with Mato Grosso and Paraná. So that region is very, very difficult situation. So even like how the state, the city, how they relate to it and the society around it, in each region, they act very differently. Like in São Paulo, as I said, it's more, it's easier. And in Paraná, the situation is much, much more complicated.
In the violent situation, against the justice situations, what can we do? What strategies can we use?
Parece que temos problema com a ligação.
I think we have a problem here with the connection. I just want to remind you that Eliseu, that unfortunately couldn't join us, was going to talk about the situation in Mato Grosso do Sul, to talk about his perspective comparing with the Thiago's. But it looks like we're having a technical issue with Thiago as well. Oh, there he is. So I was asking you, so seeing a violent situation, what are the possible answers and strategies that we can use? How do you defend yourselves in these types of situations in Paraná?
Opa, desculpa, minha conexão caiu e a outra intérprete podia entrar para revisar?
Yeah, sure. I can come in. Do you hear me?
Com certeza, a minha net também não está muito bem agora. Eu perguntava que tipo de estratégias, que tipo.
So the question is about the strategies, what we can do to fight violence, against violence, like an injustice, like the way you were telling us about Paraná. What are the strategies that we can use to react? So I think the strategies that we have to think about are how could we make them not too strong, this types of situation. As when we talk about national issues with the society in Brazil, we always talk about respect. How can we support coming and going to the communities, getting to know their realities, and always demanding from the government to acknowledge us, to acknowledge our territorial rights, the public laws, and this always comes to the territorial rights. We always try to make society see in actions and practical actions to go there and see what's going on, support us financially. For example, these communities, we always look for strategies to work together. And For international actions, we always try to think about how society or even international organizations could help us. There are situations that we have to think about with a lot of love and affection. Even though we see this, but we don't really live there, so we don't know the exact situation. So what we do is just keep our eyes open and see with the people that are there, they're closer to them, lawyers that come and tell us what's really going on, the information. For example, to think about how we demand from the government, how we put pressure on the demarcation processes. So when it comes from Europe, is a lot stronger than an action that comes from Brazil. For example, situations are very important to give visibility for our fights, to write news, to register the situations and everything that's going on, and speak up and make our communities be seen outside, abroad, and all these actions are very welcomed. And everything needs to be thought all together as a community. The commission can't just say, you have to do this. The only person that can say that have the right to do that are the leaders of these communities. But we always try to be in the middle and to talk to both. And we always talk about, as you see, always there's a conflict with the big farmers, the big landowners. If we can do an action from Europe, like buying soy and corn that they sell in these territories. So to trade this corn and all these products, there is indigenous blood involved. So we have to think of strategies. I think we wrote a letter. So we wrote a letter about this situation of these movements. So there's always a strategy. There's always something that we can think of. And when the pandemic's over, when it's at least not too bad, we leave and we invite you, all the participants, who, if you could come and see us, if you come and visit and see what's going on, the villages, the Guarani villages, to see the reality, to see what's going on. I think it's very important, because when you step there, then you know what's going on, then you understand the situation. Talking about it just from far away, you see, you think you see it, but when you're there, it's different. So I'm inviting all of you who want to come. You're all very welcomed. In my village as well, you're always welcomed. We have our doors wide open. Thank you, Thiago. I'd like to thank you and also invite you to come to Cork and to talk to us. I'd also like to open the debate to the public to see if anyone wants to ask something. Since we're doing a very informal discussion here, you can send us your question, or you can write it down, or you can answer ask yourself. You can speak in English, in Portuguese, the way you want. If you have any questions, just let us know.
Anyone? Alguma pergunta? Alguma questão?
Does anyone have a question?
Bem, mais uma vez, Thiago, obrigadíssimo pela conversa.
Again, Thiago, thank you very much for talking to us. It was really great. And I hope we can have, we can talk more about this.
Simplesmente salientar par de questões prácticas. A primeira, LASC tem formulário de avaliação. Eu penso que
So there's a form, and LASK has a form that you can.
da UCC e desta parceria pelos problemas técnicos. Bem, perdão, antes disso, há uma pergunta.
We have a question here.
Crystal pergunta, Thiago, posso perguntar acerca das ideias espirituais e das práticas das comunidades dos povos indígenas e de como é que tem reforçado o vosso ativismo ambiental e a defesa da terra no contexto das vossas comunidades. Portanto, a pergunta seria como é que essa dimensão mais espiritual tem ajudado a reforçar um ativismo mais ligado à terra, à defesa da terra.
Tá, vou responder. É uma pergunta bem interessante.
It's a very interesting question and very important too, because
hoje a gente está nessa situação.
Nowadays, well, now we're in this situation of a chaos situation with the pandemic in the world. And also, on the other hand, we're losing our territories that are of the world. They're the world's territory, the planet's territory, not only the indigenous people, the traditional people, but also we're having advances, invasions, decrees that are being thought about to destroy our forests, the environment in general. And in the situation of strengthening our spirituality in this moment of the pandemic, and strengthening the fights for our lands, for the environment. It's a situation that we have right now, and all the situation that the human beings have been doing, have been putting the chaos in the planet. And you see many times our folks talk to us, they tell us that Mother Earth will need our help. And our folks told us back in the day when we were younger that we needed to fight for Mother Earth. And even like that, I can't understand how this power, this power game, the superiority is so strong that we can't understand, that we have to stop and reflect and think about what we're doing for the world, what we're doing in the world. So this is a point of view that I have, and I think about it a lot. That always in our spirituality, the Guarani spirituality, we always ask for our gods, for the creator that thinks of us, and because the way that we're treating our world, that we think that we're so superior of everything, of all the creatures, the human beings think they're so superior. We think that we're better than nature, that we're superior than nature. And this is our assessment. Me as a Guarani, I think of that in this way, and we're creating a system of our own. We can't accept this system. We don't want to accept it the way that we have to be. We're creating our own way of government or of life, where we think where the traditional communities lose their identity, their strength, and their autonomy, and they want to take it out of they want to take it out of us. It's not accepted to be good, to respect nature, to respect creatures. And with that, along with that, we have this point of view. But this strength, this will This contact with Earth got a lot stronger with the pandemic, because that's how we show. It shows us where our food comes from, where all the resources, everything we need come from. We're not leaving our territories very much, so we're here all the time, and we've been planting, we've been taking what's there. We see the corn coming out, colorful corn, and how rich that is, how beautiful that is. And it feeds us, it feeds our spirits, and it strengthens us, our kids, our families, to show them where things come from, where beans come from, where potatoes come from, where food comes from. It's a moment of reconnection that makes us stop and think, even for us that are leaders, that go out a lot, see cities, travel a lot, we have to stop and think, where do we have to make things stronger, where we have to fight. It's a continuous fight, not only from the indigenous people. There's a lot of activists, there are a lot of people that fight for the environment, and we are permanent fighters. After 500 years, we're still here in small territories, fighting and fighting against the system, not to get rid of everything, not to destroy everything. Demarcations are a guarantee. We need other guarantees as well, not only demarcations, to guarantee that we're still going to be here. It's one of our fights. It's very important. It's one of the main ones, but it depends on other fights as well. So demarcations are very important, but it doesn't guarantee everything. The most important part that makes us stronger is the spirituality, is the connection that we have with each other. And we always wake up stronger. We have hope, even thinking about the world, thinking that it's the end of the world, but we always wake up with more strength. We look at our children, our kids, pregnant women. We see that there's always hope. We keep fighting, and we can stop fighting for the environment, for the forest, for everything. It's something that we're very strong right now about. We're fighting together, and we want to fight with whoever wants to fight with us. Thank you, Thiago. Thanks for the question.
Ir fechando. Basicamente queria salientar algumas questões. Iremos colocar a conversa no YouTube.
So we're going to put this conversation, this video on YouTube. It's going to be available at the last YouTube center. And that's where you can also see the other events that we've had about activism, cultural activism, different contexts in Latin America. So all the content that we've had so far between LASK and the University of Cork is there, available in our YouTube channel. You can see if you want, get to know our work. LASK will send you a form where you can give us a feedback, what you think about, what you thought about the event, how things went, give us suggestions, to tell us what you think could be better, how we can make it. And we apologize for the technical issues. We tried to do our best, but technical issues are always complicated. But eventually, I want to thank Jordi, Ana, Alba, Thiago, and everyone that did a big effort to make this happen and made everything much easier. my last thanks to Thiago. Thank you so much for doing this, being here with us, and I hope we can keep in touch. And thank you so much for everything.
Simplesmente uma última questão, o seguinte evento que teremos.
Just one more thing. The next event that we're going to have is going to happen on the 20th of May, when our colleagues from Colombia and Guatemala will be with. We're going to send more information about this event. I hope we can continue this conversation in the next few days. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. It's been a pleasure.